Buenos dias.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to be here, and the chairs to hear your presentation, Dingelia, Anastasia. It's an honor to be here before you. When I was driving down here, I had my staff call me because in today's LA Times, there's an article about solar panels in the hillside areas and residential pockets in Los Angeles. Earlier this week, we were working with the bicentennial of Mexico, 200 years. A few days before that, we had the president of El Salvador in City Hall. And there we were having a discussion about the Mala Salvatrucha, the gangs that emanated from District 1 that are now proliferating internationally, not only in the Western Hemisphere, but now they are moving south at an international level, dealing with the impact of the drug trade and the whole violence of the gang culture. And I share this with you because this is 2 weeks that this type of challenges occur. But I feel very blessed. I feel honored that I can work with folks like Jill Soler from my office who are working in a direction that reflects the principles and the foundation and how we built up our sense of awareness through this graduate school. I can tell you as an English major, as I was graduating, I was at the crossroads and I was thinking, okay, do I continue with my master's? Because quite frankly at that time, it was hard to find a job. Or do I dive into it and maybe come in and take my master's later? But I was very fortunate to move forward and keep going, so I know each one of you made that decision at one point or another. And I think you made an excellent choice. Because here in Los Angeles, you're going to find a microcosm of what's happening at the international level. You're going to find the second largest population of Mexicanos here in Los Angeles out of Mexico City. You're going to find the second largest population of Koreans outside of Seoul here in Los Angeles. And I can go down the list. I go to events in my district and I'll stand and go through 8 different national anthems, sometimes 12 if I get to the US. And sometimes I have to lip sync and sometimes I don't. But the fact is, it speaks to this international flavor that you have here. This is your laboratory. And these 2 years are going to go fast. I don't want to scare you. I don't want you to panic. Don't panic. This is maybe for somebody the first day, somebody the second day. But absorb it. The energy you get from the anxiety and the stress and the frustration, put that aside. Use that energy to absorb, to listen, to take advantage of who's around you. You have an amazing array of experiences sitting right around you. And that is what's going to carry you. I have colleagues today that are doing very well, they're publishing, and they're working in fields that never in our wildest dreams that we think I'd find my buddy Rudy working as an executive for People en Español. And we tease him, what, are you a glorified ad salesman? And he goes, no, I do this, and he breaks it down, how the planning policy and planning development skills have helped them. I've got people who are running companies. Folks are working at high government official levels. But we all started first by crawling. We first started with these little baby steps. And those first baby steps are pretty harsh. They're pretty tough. Right out of graduate school, I applied to Cudahy, a southeast county city for planning, Culver City, and in the infamous city of Bell. I didn't pick any one of those. I ended up in San Francisco Bay Area in Oakland, working for the Spanish-speaking Community Council on Fruitvale and 14, in the middle of the flatlands, where all hell is breaking loose with the epidemic caused by crack cocaine. And we built job centers, we built long-term care facilities for seniors. But it was hard work, and we were doing 4 or 5 things at one time. But it was discipline I acquired coming to this school. Now, as a nonprofit entity, I got exposed to many decision-making roles that scholarships, but I was able to develop that skill set. But it was during my graduate school years, which I was very opportunistic. In that, and I was sharing with some students earlier, I was very fortunate. I applied to all these fellowships, to these scholarships, and I was hustling. I ended up with a SCAG, Southern California Association of Governments Fellowship. And with that scholarship, I ended up working in different settings. In the City of Santa Monica's Economic Development Department. In the City of LA's Chief Legislative Honest Office. I worked for a nonprofit. I exposed myself to different sectors of how our society functions. What I was trying to do, and I was fortunate in many instances, where I was using my studies, my curriculum in school to complement my work experience. So I was killing 2 or 3 birds with one stone. I was getting paid. 2, I was applying what I was learning. And 3, I was building contacts, networks. Now here I am, and see, at that time I had hair. I had hair past my waist. Actually past my shoulders. And it was awkward because I walked in the offices and I go, this guy doesn't look too professional. Maybe we should have him in that meeting. So I cut it, trimmed it, got that professional look, took off the mustache, and I started understanding this notion of assimilation. Now there's this term called selling out. Now, I don't want to speak to that in terms of how we reflect our values. But from my point of view, at that time, that stage of my life, and I need to put this into context. I come from a family of 9. My dad's a janitor. My mom cleans houses. We worked hard to get to where we were at. And I was kind of angry in my studies as an English major and going through my graduate school days. I kind of had a chip on my shoulder. Because I kept thinking back on what I had to go through as a kid in the neighborhoods of Cypress Park and Lincoln Heights. You know, there was this place we called the Gauntlet. There was a bridge that goes over a freeway. We had to cross that, me and my brothers and sisters, 7 of us. On one side we had Avenues, a gang, which was very notorious then as it is today. On the other side we had Clover. These are gangs that emerged after World War II. And we were like sitting ducks with our Catholic school uniforms. So we take off our shirts, my brother and I, and just have the t-shirt on and try to blend in. Didn't work. And as we walked through this Godhead, my brother had to fight, I had to fight. Sometimes we got beat up, sometimes we didn't. Protected my sisters. But I was thinking, why do I have to live this way? Why does it have to be like this? To get to the local park and play in the playground, we had to literally have to fight just to get on the basketball court. That was ridiculous. So what did we do? We went to the river. Now, at that time, and still people think today, it's just a glorified sewer. But we negotiated a railroad yard, about 60 acres big, play chicken with the trains, get to the fence, throw our stingrays over the fence, go down there and ride our bikes in the river. And actually found our little beachheads. We didn't know what was in there at the time, believe me. Every time we went home that night, my parents said, boy, where were you? You smell. Oh, that's this kid. You know, they would be upset. What are you guys doing? We never told them. And then one day we find out what's in there, and then went back in. I'll spare you those details. Now I'm a council member. Fast forward today. And I look at the skill sets that this school taught me. And the notion of being optimistic and challenging the establishment. And saying to yourself, if I don't do this now, when will I? And will I regret this later if I don't make the effort? So one of my first acts as a council member is I gutted out this huge multi-million-dollar deal where they're going to build warehouses in these big parks. And it was against the community's wishes, many of them. Mayor Reardon was very upset. Deputy Mayor Dr. Delgadillo was very mad. Ed Roski, major developer, investor. They all pumped millions into this, but we added something like $8 to $15 million to leverage their investment. I took out all the money. I asked the city attorney to back down, lay down the legal swords, because I want to see the parks there. And the parks got built. Now we have in the neighborhoods where we have to fight to get on the parking, to get into the park. We have 6 soccer fields, 2 baseball diamonds, 4 basketball courts, we have 40 acres of open space, we have a wetland, and that's just one part. In Chinatown, we have the cornfield, which is another part. But the master plan for the river is about alleviating pressure caused by poverty, caused by densities that range between 30 to 70,000 people per square mile. That's a lot of people in distress. And this is creating those pressures, a way to alleviate those pressures. Now, I'm one of 15. I represent over 330,000 people. And still more because there are those that are not counted. I'm in 18 square miles. I have colleagues who represent the same number of people in 54 square miles. So when we talk about passing laws and putting policy into the books, we need 8 votes. So I need to understand that the folks in the northwest part of the valley, where there's maybe 3 to 1,000 people per square mile, who have horses, have open space, their realities are different than mine. But I need to make judgments based on land use principles and policies that speak to one city. And that's what I'm trying to stress to you. That each one of you will come with your own perspective. You have your own universe. But here, the universe is going to expand. And it's up to you to engage that universe and ask yourself, where do I see myself 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now? Some of you are going to make a lot of money, and many of you are going to be happy in your struggle because of the change you're going to make to the individual, to the community, to those causes that you feel are very important in your heart. And you'll be just as rich. The fact is, the influence is going to be there for you. And as a Mexican American, as a Chicano, wherever you want to identify me, I see myself as an American citizen who's trying to look at how we create this social justice through the measures of equity. Now, I didn't come here to give you all the theories that I learned through Ed Soldier's class. I didn't come here to articulate the various demographic analytical skills that Dr. Leo Estrada taught me. He was my mentor at that time. And there's a whole list of great people that I was able to learn from that kept coming back. Because this school nourished me and helped me get to a place where I can say to my kids, look, if you keep complaining, no one's going to listen. But if you do something about it and actually apply yourself and take that risk, at least you put yourself in the ring. At least some of your blood will fall on the canvas. You pick yourself up and you keep fighting. Or you can be in the corner holding the bucket and the towel and say, yeah, go ahead, do this, do that, and not get involved. We need to do that, especially in this day and age. And this time, in this period in which this country is going through, I believe, a major identity crisis. I sit on the executive board of National League of Cities. There's 14,000 cities that I work with. I have discussions in economic development committees and the executive committee with individuals who would tell other elected officials, if you are planning to continue to be an elected official, you need to go after the day laborer sites. You need to take positions that are very detrimental to the fabric of this society. And I'll reserve my comments on the Tea Party. But the fact is, we're at a junction now where we need your spirit, we need your sense of optimism, we need you to question, and we need you to push. Push for what you think is right. And think of all the reasons why you chose this school. And look at this great setting, this great laboratory called Los Angeles, as a way to expand your opportunities. Now, in my office, I have 6 UCLA girls, and they all have masters. I've been very blessed with very strong, disciplined professionals that come in and doing what is needed. And I would hope that in the future, you would be in my position, and you can give back the way those have supported you to get to this place. And I thank you for your patience. I need to be I need to apologize. The council meeting started 5 minutes ago. And I have to have the discussion on a solar panel move. I had to get there in 45 minutes. But I thank you for this opportunity. I'll come back. If you invite me to come back to your classes, I'll be more than happy to give you more detail, more than willing to share with you what we've been through. And if you need a tour of the river or the neighborhoods of the inner city, I'll get a bus, we'll put you on it, and we'll take a drive. Thank you very much. Good luck.